Okay, we should be live. Let's just... I'm going to try to refresh my screen and see if we're live on the live page. All right. Hi and welcome everyone. Oh. We're live on the live page. I'm going to have to close this page because I can hear myself. 2 seconds. All right. Hi and welcome everyone. Oh. We're live on the live page. All right. I'm not going to be able to see everyone chatting in the chat box, but Sarah and Joyce are going to be in there talking to you guys. So just if you're joining us here live for the LinkedIn Q&A session, I'm Liam Austin, the host of the LinkedIn Success Summit. We're joined by Sarah Torsland as well as Joyce Cordero, both team members of Small Today. We're really happy and excited to have everyone here. And again, if you're here and you're live, just on the right side of this video, click and log in to the chat box, and you can start telling us a little bit about who you are and where you're from, and just say hi so we know you guys are there. Sarah, are you seeing any comments there in the chat box? Yeah? It might take a little while. There might be some delays because it looked like this video was delayed when I was watching it a minute ago. But we hopefully should see a few of you chatting in the chat box. So again, please just say your name and where you're from in the world, and Joyce, Sarah, myself will say hi, and we'll do a shout out to you as well. So this Q&A session, we're going for an hour, just answering all the questions you have regarding LinkedIn and how to generate lead, sales, and profit from LinkedIn. It's this follow-up to the LinkedIn Success Summit that we ran back in December, and we had over 15,000 people attend the live event, and it was huge. It was super exciting. We had so much amazing feedback. Sarah, Joyce, and myself were literally, so many emails came through saying how much you guys benefited from it, what a massive impact it's already had on your business. So it's really cool to see you guys implementing some of the strategies and steps and processes that you learned from some of the experts at the summit. So today, really, this is all about answering any questions that weren't answered for you during the summit by the speakers. Everyone here today listening, you are an All Access Pass member. You're a part of the VIP exclusive group, and we're really happy and excited for you to be part of our Small Today community. Sarah and Joyce are here with me. Again, if you've just joined us, please say hi to Sarah and Joyce in the chat box just to the right of this live broadcast, and we can answer any of your questions that come through. Just checking in with Sarah, any questions coming through? Any people saying hi? No, not yet. Okay, I think we saw Stanley and someone else on there earlier. Yeah. Who were they?
Yeah, Stanley and
Evangelia.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Joyce. I just heard you unmute and say that. That's fantastic. Thanks for that. Sarah, don't forget to unmute if you want to talk to everyone. So cool. Glad to have at least a few of you here. I know a lot of you emailed saying you couldn't necessarily make the session, but we saw a lot of you actually click through and submit questions. So we've got a lot of questions that to go through from you, but if you didn't actually click through and register your question in advance, just enter it into the chat box window to the right. All right, so here we go. Let's have a look at this first question here. This first question is from Victor in the Netherlands. Now, his question is, hi Liam, one of the great treasures of LinkedIn is the use of the second degree network through your first degree network. Myself being on LinkedIn for 12 years and having over 3,000 first line connections, I find that these type of connection questions are only asked to me maybe 3 times per year. It looks like, at least in the Netherlands, that people hardly make use of the big advantage of LinkedIn, what's your view on this? Couldn't agree more, Victor. Like, LinkedIn and connecting with people is huge. One of the biggest advantages of LinkedIn, to start the conversation, to connect yourself with potential customers, potential clients, potential strategic partners, the media. Almost everyone these days in the professional world is on LinkedIn. So really cool place to be in terms of connecting and reaching out to people for the first time. And your specific question about, your secondary degree connections, just to explain for everyone listening in on this live call, the thing is that your first level connections, you are now able to reach out to their network, so their first level connections, which are your second level connections, and those second level connections are potential clients and customers there for you waiting, and they're warmer than any other potential customers and clients. Why? Because they're connected to a friend or colleague of yours. They're a connection, a first connection, or your first connection. So the potential there to get a referral, to have them reach out to them as a potential customer, and them to ask their friend, hey, this guy, Liam from Small Today, what's he really like? You're connected with him on LinkedIn. How have you observed him? What's his business process like? Have you purchased from him? Was it a good service? And so this is completely underutilized, this second level connections. And so highly recommend that everyone increases their number of first level connections to above 500 connections. Almost every one of the speakers recommended this. Victor, you have 3,000. Definitely what you want to be is above 500 connections. So go, first thing, number one, everyone, get over 500 first level connections for yourself. Then what you want to be doing is going out and reaching out to your second level connections. So what that is your first level connections. So say you've just connected with Peter, who's been a past customer of yours, and you've connected with him on LinkedIn. You can then go into Peter's profile and see all of his first level connections. Check out, do an advanced search, see who he's connected with that could be a potential client, a customer, the perfect customer for you. Then just ask Peter to give you a referral or a testimonial recommending your product and service and your business to this new connection, this new potential client for yourself. And it's such an easy way to generate, almost an unlimited number of leads for your business. Why? Because you've connected with one Peter who has 500 connections or more. There's 500 potential clients right there from that one connection that you have. So again, like, the more connections you have, the more second connections you're able to reach, and the more potential leads and customers that you're able to attract. So again, number one, just get more than 500 connections. So thanks for that question, Victor. Just going back to Sarah and Joyce, have we got any extra questions coming through the chat box at the moment? Not yet? Okay, so anyone, please just ask your questions in the chat box, and let me just log in myself and check out what's going on. So we're over at linkedincubator.com/live. All you guys need to do is hit the live button, and we're good to go. What's going on? So we're over at LinkedIn. Okay, sorry about that. That's just me listening to myself. But I see a few of you in the chat box, which is great. Don't forget to ask your questions. I love the feedback, and definitely Sarah and Joyce, just let me know if there's some questions in there. Just jump on, unmute your microphone, and tell me a question that's out there. But let's just go back through this, some more questions that came through. We've got someone here from the United Kingdom, Stephen Clark from Cumbria in the UK. Very simple start-off question, which is, how would I get sales for my new business from LinkedIn? Super easy. I mean, it follows on from the last question. Get connections, get referrals. LinkedIn is amazing for getting strategic partnerships and growing your business. You just need to reach out and connect with these potential clients. How do you go about connecting with these potential clients? Okay, number one, do an advanced search on LinkedIn. Look at exactly who your target audience is and reach out to them. So send them an invite to connect. Follow them on Twitter and other social networks, and just start building a relationship with them. Don't say, hey, do you want to buy my product straight away? Do you know what? They won't buy from you. You need to start building a relationship with them and try to help them solve their problem. If you see them as a potential client or customer, why would they want to buy from you? Because they've got a problem that your product or service is solving, right? So target really specifically, narrow it down, and there's over 400 million people on LinkedIn, so you can certainly do those advanced searches and narrow it down to, you know, a few hundred people by being super specific and being really targeted to almost know that, yes, these guys 100% need my product or service, need my business, and it should be an easy sale. But you need to build a relationship with them, give, help them solve their problem. And how do you do that? Just start connecting with them, sending them messages on LinkedIn, via email, via their social networks, helping them. First of all, just give, and always be authentic, be real, be yourself. Try to help them as much as possible and be there as a resource to them. The more that you can be helpful to them, the more it's going to come back to you and help you out. All right, so I'm sure Sarah and Joyce will jump on when we've got other questions. Let's move on to another one now. What do we got here? Okay,
yeah.
If you had to name 3 strategies that work best on LinkedIn and acquiring new business, what would they be? That is from San Francisco, from Jack Allen in the US. So 3 strategies that work best on LinkedIn to acquiring new business. Okay, number one, like, I love strategic partnerships and partnering with people. So you can obviously go out there and reach out to people one-on-one on LinkedIn, and yes, one-on-one, it's a very manual process, but imagine you reached out to that one person and they were able to introduce you to hundreds or thousands of people that are in their audience. Way much better use of your time, right? So jump on LinkedIn, connect with like influencers, people with an audience, bloggers, whoever they might be, journalists, and just say, hey, how can I add value to them? Help them out, be helpful, and ask them if they can maybe share something with their audience. It's going to be valuable and useful to them, and a lot of the time it has to be a story. So that's for the bloggers and that kind of thing. In terms of other strategic partnerships where it might be someone who has a complementary product, hey, I don't mind promoting your product out to my current customer base if you're willing to do the same thing for my product. So how does that look? Say I'm selling nails, and I can see a strategic partner there. He's selling hammers over there, right? Very simple example. But okay, I've got all these customers buying all these nails from me. I know they want a hammer. I'm happy to promote your product and business to my audience, and I'll promote the strategic partner's hammer to my audience. Then in reverse, okay, he's got a lot of customers that are buying his hammer from him. They probably want nails, right? So he should or her should be happy to promote your nails, your products or service to their business because it's complementary. The whole thing here is about providing value to each other, so it is a win-win. So your audience is getting value because they're able to find, like, you know, this hammer, this thing that's going to solve the problem for them to actually hit the nails into the wood, and vice versa with your partner. So look for strategic partners. I think that's 2 there in terms of bloggers. In terms of a complementary partner, there's a strategic partner. A third one I think as well would be just LinkedIn, right? If you're on LinkedIn and someone has a second-degree connection, just ask, can I get referred to this person? I think that's just the simplest way to grow your network and become a hot or warm lead to your audience. It's so simple. It's just as easy as that. You've got a reputation, a relationship with this person, it's easy, or it should be easy if you've done a good business, you've got a good relationship with them, for them to be able to refer you to their clients. So just checking in, Sarah and Joyce, can you just jump on and let me know, like tell me, have we got any questions or what's happening in the chat box?
Yes, so we've got one question from Vishal. He's asking, what are the best tools, sorry, now I'm getting, for scheduling updates? I have Buffer and Likeable, are two options. What are your thoughts on that?
Cool. Yeah, Likeable. Dave Kirpin, one of our headline speakers, he was super. Well, one of the top speakers at the event in terms of the response from the audience or you guys watching. So his software, Likeable, so good in terms of being able to schedule posts. So obviously being a LinkedIn influencer, LinkedIn is there, as well as Facebook and Twitter. So jump on Likeable. Yes, you've got Buffer, which Joyce has used, as well as Hootsuite for our business. So Joyce can probably tell you all about that, and all three of those platforms have been great. But the one thing was really just choose one and take action, right? And schedule everything in advance, and as far in advance as you possibly can. Make sure that you repeat posts so that you're hitting people. I mean, we've interviewed, as part of the Small Today community, Guy Kawasaki, and he's a big believer in repeating posts like multiple times, like 7 or 8 times across, months or weeks or even days, because there's people who are accessing Twitter, for instance, at different times of the day, or they won't access it during certain days or certain hours. So definitely keep. Sorry, there was just a chat coming through. So keep scheduling, keep them in advance, and keep repeating them through those platforms, because it makes it so simple for you. But at the same time, don't forget, I mean, the one thing I learned from almost all the experts was be authentic, be real, and be reachable, right? So if you're scheduling all these things and people replying, retweeting, get in there, be personal, and start replying to the tweets, to the comments on LinkedIn, and to the likes and thumbs up that you're getting, because that's how you're going to build real, authentic relationships with potential customers and clients, and it's the whole reason why you're doing this. I think there was a question about transcripts. We're still in the process of organizing transcripts. We'll try to get transcripts for all of this, but we'll update everyone via email, so you won't miss out on that. Don't worry. All right, so this is an interesting question from Diana Lawrence in Golden City in the US. Never heard of it. Sounds like a very cool place. What's the status of groups? We had Viveka von Rosen talk about groups, but then shortly before the actual interview session, the rules for groups radically changed. Multiple subsequent speakers also talked about groups, but it sounded like they were interviewed before the changes were announced and or took effect. Can you tell us how they work now? Thanks. All right, so as you all probably know, Small Today, we run LinkedIn's second largest group for small business owners, Small Business Network. So if you're looking for groups on LinkedIn, just search for Small Business Network and it should pop up. Jump in, join it. Yes, some of the interviews that we did was right on the time when LinkedIn made these massive changes about LinkedIn groups. So there were a few speakers there that were just like, all right, I want to give you all these tips and strategies, but we're not sure whether they're still working yet. But you know what? A lot of them do. A lot of the strategies are just about being authentic and being active, just taking action, just being in there and being part of the community. Just get in there and chat and talk and be helpful to people. I mean, a lot of these tips and strategies that these experts were sharing with us throughout the summit were just about communicating, being authentic, and taking action. So just get into the groups, start talking, start commenting, and if you're scheduling posts, start replying and commenting. Jump in there and be real and be active in there, especially when a conversation is taking place. Okay, some hot tips since the LinkedIn group changes. there was actually a question that came through about how does one find stats on a LinkedIn group profile, like member countries, positions, etc. And that is from Jiri in Cheltenham, Australia. So thanks very much for that, Jiri from Easy Authoring. LinkedIn took away LinkedIn group statistics, which I wasn't very happy with. I know a lot of other group owners, a lot of the speakers weren't happy with because it allowed us to identify who was in our group, what type of people they were, and helped us curate content and give them value based on who they were. It's a lot easier when you understand your community based on that kind of information. And for everyone else that wants to look and find groups that are valuable to them, those statistics are gone now, and yeah, it's great to be able to look at the statistics and see where people are from, but they're gone. You can still see like lists of members of the group, but the advanced searches and stuff that we used to have are gone. Although, speaking with some of the LinkedIn guys, there is a LinkedIn group on LinkedIn for LinkedIn group owners. Go check that out. I can't remember the exact name of it, but LinkedIn Group Owners Group, officially run by LinkedIn. I'm part of that group. They are telling us that they're bringing back statistics to LinkedIn groups, so hopefully that will be part of it again. But so some of the big changes there, yes, you can't use those statistics, but they brought out a Google Groups app. Now the app is so much better now for creating conversations. Before it was like post and then I had to log back into LinkedIn to find out if anyone replied, or it's so difficult to scroll down thousands of posts or look through all the notifications to see if anyone replied to those posts, and they go missing, right? You miss them. The Google Groups app, download it now. It'll notify you on the phone immediately when someone comments or replies to one of your posts. And it just makes the conversation flow so much easier, so you can respond immediately and you can get a conversation going straight away while someone is online there commenting, and it helps you build a relationship. That's what you want. That's why you want to be downloading the Groups app, and the interface is so much better now, especially on mobile, and hopefully LinkedIn keeps making these improvements because they were quiet for a long time, but it's very cool that they've been improving not only the website but the mobile experience, which I think they're putting a lot of focus on now, which is fantastic. Joyce, Sarah, just jump in and let me know when I finish a question if there's any other questions pop up. Otherwise, I'll just jump on to the next one.
Yeah, we have an additional question from Vishal here about posting time. What's the recommendation there? Is it trial and error, or what do you think?
Okay, completely depends on your target audience. So I'm in Australia, so for me, my target audience though is in the US. So we definitely make sure we try as often as we can. And I know Joyce handles a lot of this for our team, scheduling it so that our posts are happening when our audience is most receptive to them. So we look at US time, which makes it a little bit difficult when I'm sleeping to be able to jump on my app and reply to everything. And we'd love to obviously expand our team to the US at some point. But right now, we schedule them based on US time. So number one, look at where your target audience is. Make sure that you're hitting them when they're most active. When they're traveling to work, so yeah, between 7 and 9 a.m., it's a great time. If they're using it at work, around 11 o'clock works really well. And then when they're on their lunch break, so 12 till 2, and then 3 o'clock's always been a good time for us, as well as it's recommended, I think, quite widely. And then on their trip home, and then just before they go to bed. I think a lot of people are being a bit mischievous and checking their Facebook and LinkedIn comments while they're in bed. So then's a good time. But I mean, we live in a global audience now, right? Like every one of this, people listening in today, we had hundreds of people sign up for the All Access Pass, and there's a few hundred people listening to this session now, as well as we've got 15,000 people that registered for the LinkedIn Summit. So from people all around the world, from the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, parts of Africa, other places in Europe, in Asia. So really look at where your target audience is, and maybe you have to do it, 24 hours, maybe scheduling posts, and that's why repost, reschedule, like as Guy Kawasaki says, just keep on rescheduling stuff, keep retweeting things. It's okay to share content multiple times, and yes, you'll get one or two people that might get upset with you reposting things, but at the same time, you'll be reaching a whole lot of a new audience, and the people, don't mind it so much that I found, and Guy Kawasaki is an expert in social media as well. He's been obviously testing this and working this and growing his audience further and further. So just as long as you're providing value, you're being authentic and real, I would do that. And then, yeah, okay, what specific times work for you? Yeah, you can test and trial and error, but do you know what, like, if you're fully focused on social media, yeah, jump in and spend all that time on it. Or if you're, a solopreneur, like I know a lot of you are, maybe your time's better off, spent, creating strategic partnerships on LinkedIn, reaching out to influencers who can share and do an email about you or do a blog post about you, and focus on building those relationships as opposed to spending time nitpicking on, is 11 o'clock better than 12 o'clock? Does it give me that extra like or that extra retweet? Like, maybe it's better, it's all it's a matter of trial and error, but it's a matter of trial and error versus trialing and error on other things that may be more productive for your business or making more money for you. So hopefully that answered your question. Let me know in the chat box if it did or if it didn't. Anyone that's just joining us now, there's a chat box just to the right of this video. Jump in, say hi, where you're from and your name, and we'll do a bit of a shout out for you and answer your questions as well. So we've got a question from Jacob Crudo in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I have the free version, but ever since your seminars, I've been using LinkedIn a lot, and I'm getting to be a professional user and will need to upgrade. So the question is there a way around this? Thanks. All right, so I think the whole idea is you should upgrade to LinkedIn. It's like if you're using all the resources and using up all those resources in LinkedIn, and it's limiting any extra searches, or you're not able to find those, you can't access those extra leads and potential customers, like, upgrade, right? It's going to make you more. But first of all, I think before you do, make sure that those searches and those things that you're doing on the free account, make sure that you're making use of them. Go as targeted as you can with the searches. Be super, super niche and super, super specific, so that you know that when you're building a relationship with them, you're going to be spending time and effort, right? So you're going to make sure that they're the right people and they're going to bring in money for your business, and it's going to be worthwhile. So make sure you're spending time on them, and that, test it out with these people that you're reaching for free, and you can probably narrow it down to tens or hundreds, if not thousands of people, depending on how wide you want to go. But narrow it down so it's only like 10, 20, 30 people, and build relationships with them, see what's working with them, then upgrade, pay for the LinkedIn Pro version. It'll mean that instead of reaching tens or hundreds of people, you can reach thousands of potential leads for your business, and you can be a lot more specific, a lot more targeted, and you can obviously bring in a lot more business for your business. So there's no way around it, I'm afraid, Jacob. I think if you're making money through the free version by connecting with people, or you're getting a journalist to cover you, or you're getting a strategic partner that's helping you reach a new audience, how much is that worth to you? If you did that, 3, 4, 10, 20x times, right? Maybe it's worth the Pro version, so I'd highly recommend that you upgrade. Okay.
So we got a chat question again from Evangelina. She says, I've noticed that readership has declined overall on my Pulse engagement. even on those who have large followings. Is this because of a new algorithm, a crowded space, or are we eventually going to have to pay to play to reach more people?
All right, that's an awesome question. This is the thing, right? So LinkedIn is rented space. It's rented property. You don't own it. They change their algorithm all the time, as you can see by just the visual stuff, the UX, the design, the apps that they're bringing out. They're making a lot of changes, so don't expect their algorithm to stay the same. It's going to be changing all the time. If you're seeing a decrease in your number of viewers to your posts, are you testing it to see, is it the specific topic? Is it the time that I sent it? I mean, there's a lot of factors that can come into it, but if you can definitely say, okay, yes, LinkedIn has changed their algorithm, and yes, I know that I haven't changed anything yet. I know my readership is declining. Okay, what can you do to increase the number of viewers, the number of readers? Everyone that's watching this, I'd recommend that you jump into the Facebook group. It's a private LinkedIn community for all of you guys, so all the All Access Pass members, to jump in and support each other. So jump into the Facebook group right now if you want, and post your publishing post, your LinkedIn account. Let us connect with you. Let us help you support your efforts. Let us help you get more viewers. I'm happy to share your Pulse posts with my audience as long as it's relevant. And I'm hopefully everyone else here in this community will be willing to give a little, to hopefully receive a little back. So if you are going to be posting and asking people to share your post within the group, also reach out and help other people. So go back through some of the questions that have been asked previously, see if you can help other people, see if you can help connect other people with potential customers or clients. Be helpful. If you be helpful, other people will help you back, and it's that whole thing again, just be authentic, be real, and jump into that Facebook community. If you're not already a member, check your emails from myself, liam@smalltoday.com. You would have received an invite to the Facebook group. If not, Sarah, maybe you could post in the link into the chat box right now, and we'll also do a follow-up. So you've got the link to the Facebook group, and you can jump in and join that and join in the conversation and help each other out. So look for strategic partnerships to help you grow the readership. See how you can, see someone else that's blogging, that's posting, that's also got a very similar audience to you, that you say, hey, do you know what, I don't mind sharing your stuff with my audience across my social network via email. Do you want to do a reciprocal agreement here? This is, I think, why LinkedIn is so super powerful, and I think I kind of repeat myself over and over with this, but like strategic partnerships. Jump on LinkedIn, start connecting with people, see how you can be helpful, how can you share their content, how can you help them reach more people. Hopefully then you can, once you've given and given and given, you can then make an ask, and they'll hopefully share your posts, and hopefully you can reach more people. So unfortunately I can't answer your question whether LinkedIn has changed their algorithm. They keep that kind of thing really super quiet, but I think you should look at it. And a few speakers mentioned that within their interviews in the summit, that you should look at LinkedIn as an additional platform to reach a whole new audience. So there's a whole audience on LinkedIn that you could be reaching that's brand new. Don't forget, though, to be posting on your own blog as well as elsewhere. Republish. I mean, Claire was talking about republishing and repurposing your content across multiple platforms. Look at LinkedIn as like one readership, so it's one magazine that you could feature your article in. Look at all the other thousands of magazines that are out there that you could be putting your blog post and reaching more people. So yes, repurpose it, change it up a little bit, change the title, change the images, change the words slightly, still give a lot of value, but the whole post should really be very much the same and giving the same values, that you're repurposing it across different platforms. So on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on your own website, maybe you can ask to be a contributing writer for other bloggers that are out there. Try to get us an expert contributor for the Huffington Post or Inc.com. I think that's really, hopefully, is answering your questions. If not, yeah, jump in the chat box and we'll try to give you a bit more information there. Okay.
In the chat right now, Stanley's asking about the ability to search in groups. It was discussed in the sessions that you no longer can't search by title and keyword, but Stanley says he can. Do you know what's...
Yeah, so you can jump into the advanced search and do a search, and then based on the groups, search within the groups there, I believe, everyone. So Stanley, thanks for kind of pointing that out. And I think everyone just start paying attention to what's going on with LinkedIn and the changes. Jump into, LinkedIn. The LinkedIn group owners group is a great way to keep up with what's going on with LinkedIn groups. I'm sure there's a LinkedIn publishing group on LinkedIn. So for Pulse Publishing, jump on there and see the best tactics and strategies for that. Those would probably be my best takeaways. So guys, jump into other LinkedIn groups and also follow other people who are publishing on LinkedIn and seeing what's working for them. But number one, at the bottom of all of those, make sure you do a call to action and get their email address, because we heard so many of the speakers tell us how important it is to build on the relationship that you've started and nurturing on LinkedIn, and further nurture it offline via email, via phone, via face-to-face meetings. But straight away get their email address so you can continue that conversation. Jack Allen literally just jumped on right this minute, and from San Francisco, and what's the best practice in using LinkedIn? I don't want to keep repeating myself, but just get over 500 connections and start reaching out to those second connections. So start asking for referrals from first connections and start seeing who you can partner up with, who can be a strategic partner to help you grow your business by promoting you further to their own audience, to their current customers. If you spend the whole of 2016 doing that one thing, I'm certain you'll double your amount of customers and your profits by that pure one tactic. If you just constantly just focus on getting strategic partners and partnering up with them and doing value adds to each other. And I've covered that extensively, so I won't go into too much more detail. Okay. This is another on LinkedIn Publisher. Here's another question about that. We've got Joanne Cole from Albuquerque in the United States. What is the best practice for using LinkedIn Publisher with 5 employees who are assisting in creating content and 1 marketing person, me, who is responsible for creating, publishing, and promoting the content? I'm new to the business and my network would yield few leads, so I don't think I should create the content in my LinkedIn Publisher. Should I use the business owner's identity or have each contributor use his or her own profile to create the publication? The more creators, the less control I will have. What should I do? Okay, it's all the speakers, again, talking about personal branding. It's all about you. You want to be building your own personal credibility and trust. People buy from people. So your customers are going to buy from you because they know, like, and trust you, not necessarily the brand, okay? If you look at some of, Richard Branson, what do you think of? Virgin, Microsoft, Bill Gates, like, these guys have awesome reputations that they know, that if you're going to buy from this person, their products or business is going to reflect that person's personality and credibility and trust. I mean, if you trust in this person that you've got a relationship with, you're more likely to buy from them. I think that's just common knowledge, and it applies to LinkedIn. So I would be posting all of these posts myself. Okay, yes, you don't have a big massive audience or number of connections or followers right now. Great place to start. building your audience. Start posting. Start posting all these posts and sharing them throughout your network, through your social media. Reach out to partners to share it. Just do as much as you can personally. And then you said, you've got 5 employees. Get them to do exactly the same thing. So they're going to be sharing, retweeting your post on your LinkedIn profile. I mean, if you're the spokesperson for the business, you're the face of the business. I think you should be that person, and I think you don't want to confuse people too much by having too many spokespersons for your business. So try to narrow it down to one channel where they can find all of this information and awesome content. If they're following you, they don't want to have to follow these 5 people or 20 people in your business. They want to be able to follow one person that's the leader, that's the influencer, that's the decision maker that they know, like, and trust, and they can build a relationship with. So don't dilute that by doing it across loads of people. Try to do that yourself. In saying that, again, if you're a big organization and you've got someone else in the organization that wants to do the same thing, and it won't dilute what you're trying to build for your own reputation, but it's for your own business as well. People buy from people, just repeating that. You want to be doing this on your own, but let them do it as well to build up their own credibility, and just leverage off each other. So all those 5 employees, if it's just you, which I recommend, who's doing all these posts, get those 5 employees to share it to their own networks, to be looking for partners that they can become partners with to promote that content for you as well, and become other strategic partners. Like, you don't need to do one specific deal or partnership with a person or a business. You should really look at it as, if this one thing goes well, we'll hopefully create a long-term relationship and partnership that's going to be mutually fruitful for both of you. And I think that's really how you should approach that. I'm just making sure that I answered all questions. Okay, I think I did answer that. Well, at least that question. There's a few, obviously, questions still here. I'm not sure whether I'll get through them all, but I can obviously do my best, and we'll respond to others via email as well. So watch your email after this. I think Sarah has something to add.
Yeah, so Bert in the chat is asking, he has a 4-page article that he wants to share, and what is your recommendation on the best way to do so?
Okay, Bert, can you just give us a bit more information about what is the article you want to share? Is it something to do with LinkedIn that you think everyone here listening will benefit from, and that we could share with them? If so, happy to do that. Otherwise, what's it about? Just need a little bit more information. I know you're going to be getting this a little bit delayed, so I might just come back to you. Just post that in the comments. We'll get back to you. Okay, Jane, or Jesse with the email, just Jane. Okay, from San Francisco, Jesse DeCoven from San Francisco in the United States. I have a LinkedIn group that I manage for the company I work for. I want to be able to send group emails. Everything I've found indicates that I can't do this even with a premium account. What can one do with a LinkedIn group to effectively share blog posts, sends offers, etc.? So if you own a LinkedIn group, you can send an announcement, and if you're not sending announcements, you should be, because what that does is it sends an email from LinkedIn, from your group, through the LinkedIn servers to every single person who's a member of that group that has agreed to receive notifications or emails from your group, which in looking at and knowing the types of response from the different groups I own, it's about 70–80% of people will receive those emails, but at the same time, it's not as responsive as actually getting the people's email address. So number one, I think if you're starting a group, everyone goes into the pending box now, so you have to manually approve every single person that applies to become and join your group on LinkedIn. So manually jump in there and approve people regularly. If they're joining, the best thing to do is to accept them within 24 hours, because you know they're hot and they're ready to jump in and join the conversation. If you wait too long, they might get bored and forget about you and not jump into the conversation as well. And you want to try to get the engagement up of your group as much as possible. So while they're waiting and they're pending, you're able to set up within your group a welcome email. Well, it's a pending welcome, if you like, to the group. So within that, at least what I use, it's in the templates section of the groups. You jump in there, and what I do is I say, hey, can't wait to accept you as part of the group. Obviously, we have to manually approve you, so we'll do that as soon as we can. While you're waiting, you can join us here in our link in our Facebook group, and you can join our email list here. So I want to be able to get their email address, right? And I think this is something that you're alluding to, Jess or Jane, with this question is, how do I communicate an email with them regularly? I think that's the thing. While they're pending, while they're waiting, give them a special offer. Give them like, okay, what's the benefit of joining the Small Business Network group on LinkedIn? What am I going to get from it? Okay, while you're waiting, why don't you join this, 5 awesome tools to help you generate more leads online for your business. Download this free guide now, right? These 5 tools. And they just literally click on that link, and they give you their name and email address, and then they get value by downloading those 5 tools and that guide. So number one, I would try to just collect email addresses from your audience wherever possible, any potential customers or clients. So through your group, through your publishing Pulse posts, through your comments, through your updates, wherever it is, try to be collecting email. Try to take people off LinkedIn as much as possible. Why? Because yes, you get more control, because LinkedIn changes all the time. Yes, right now you're able to send an announcement through LinkedIn, and it doesn't have the open rate or the engagement or the clicks that a normal email would. So definitely use those welcome emails as part of the group to collect people's email addresses, give them value, get them to sign up, and then once they're in the group, use the announcements in group as well. So you're able to send them once every 7 days. If there's ever a problem or an issue with the send, you can always send in a support ticket to LinkedIn and just say, hey, please reset my LinkedIn announcement to my group. And normally within 24 to 48 hours, do another send within 2 days, instead of having to wait the whole 7 days and say, oops, sorry, I sent the wrong link or whatever the problem was. You can fix it. It's not as great as email because you can't do it straight away, but there is a solution there. So reach out to LinkedIn support, and normally they're quite helpful. Sarah, we got more questions? Yep.
So continue on Bert's questions about the article and the best ways to share it. He now gave us some more info, saying that this is an article recently published in a trade magazine, and he's wondering if it's better to send a copy of the article or to send them a link to reply and provide their email address. What's the best way to go about it?
Okay, and I've kind of got another question here. I wish you were on the line. But what's your goal? What's your end goal with this? Are you using the article to build your reputation, to show your credibility that you've been featured in, this trade publication? If so, number one, put it everywhere on your LinkedIn profile. Everywhere, put it on your LinkedIn profile. Share it with your audience. Put it on your website you've been featured in. This trade publication. Put the logo wherever you can. Why? Because it adds to your credibility. If you're trying to get that article featured in other publications, I would. If it's a competing publication, I would not send that article. Why? Because it's old news. That competing publication does not want to be seen as showing old content, old news that's already been covered before. That's going to ruin their reputation, and their readership are going to go, oh, I read this first like 2 months ago over here in this other place. Why am I even buying this magazine? So I don't think it's very highly unlikely that they're going to be able to republish it if there are competing publications. So what I would do is I would go with a whole new story, a whole new topic, whole new angle, and approach those competing publications. Now, if it's a new publication, if it's a publication in a new field, so with a completely different target audience, so it's not maybe industry specific, which it sounds like this is like a trade publication or something like that, I would repurpose the story and change it up a little bit, or add to it in some way. So yes, send them through that article and say, hey, look at the amount, like if it's been online and it's got X amount of shares or views and it's been super successful, you can go to another journalist and go, hey, I've got a hot story for you here. It hasn't been told by any of your competitors, because you're going to a new audience, a new publication with a new audience here, and just say, I've got even more information, even more value, like more has happened since this story was first published 2 months ago in this publication over here, but it had such a massive, great response. It brought in, so many views, so many retweets, so it's going to be great for your publication to reach more people, and your audience is going to love it, but I've got even more information. So that's how I would approach it. I'm just going to check with Sarah. Hopefully I've answered that question for you, more or less. Yeah, okay, awesome. If you want to go into more detail about that, just hit me up in the chat box or jump in the Facebook group. I'm always in the Facebook group, the LinkedIn Success Summit All Access Pass members group. Sarah, I think, has got another question come in.
Yeah, so Diana is asking, should you get your colleagues to share your content to build your brand, and vice versa, encourage them to build their personal brand whilst you're sharing? Because in a company, they're not building just their own personal brands, they're also selling the company's products. And she's saying, seems we get redundant content and muddy the waters. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, that's what I think I was alluding to before. As much as possible, I think there should be almost one spokesperson. If you look at for your business, so if you look at other companies that are on TV, in the news, they've got a spokesperson, right? They've got someone who's been chosen within the business to be the spokesperson for the business, to be the leader, to be the voice of your company. And they, even really big companies choose one person, at least within specific product areas or a particular product line. So I would try to focus on having that one person. Now, definitely, I think if I'm Richard Branson of Virgin and I'm posting something, I would be encouraging all my employees, all my staff to be commenting, to be liking, to be sharing my posts as often as possible, even providing, bonuses. I mean, this is like big organizations where you might not have a daily touch on them, but I think with the small businesses, like, that I think that are part of this call, you want to be trying to encourage other employees, yes, to be sharing, commenting, and liking your posts as the spokesperson for your business, and really making sure that you are, the leader of the organization, and you are the looking at you as that go-to person. I think that should be within the business, and it should take up, part of your day, and it should be put into probably the owner of the business, because it does take a lot of time to be, be real, to be authentic, to be communicating on a regular basis. So I think that's super important, that you encourage employees, customers, to be retweeting and posting it. I think if lots of people are within the same organization are reposting the exact same content, I don't think that's good. I would definitely rule against that. I don't think I've seen anyone doing that kind of thing. Yes, because why? It gets repetitive, it gets redundant, and people don't appreciate it. I think there should be that one channel that they can subscribe to, which is your channel. They can follow you on LinkedIn, and they can get all the news from your business, and they're not going to miss out on anything because they're not following the other 5, 10, 20 people as part of your organization. So that's what I'd recommend. Try to get one channel, one spokesperson for your business, and have everyone else sharing, commenting, adding to the conversation. So there's that one place, that one hub, that one channel that you can speak to or through. Just everyone that might have just joined us, hopefully you're getting us nice and clear. You can hear me okay. This should be recording, fingers crossed. So we should be able to put a live replay of this online for you to recap and watch again. But anyone else as well who's just joined us, make sure you jump into the chat box in the right-hand column, say your name and where you're from, and any questions that you have, and happy to answer them right now. Is there anyone that's kind of jumped on and said hi and we want to do a shout out to? Anyone that hasn't asked a question that said hi? No, not. I think it's too much scrolling to go on. But I'll go on to some more questions. Okay, Shelley Dridden from Washington in the USA. Can I use my Bachelor of Science University degree, the nutrition science course assignments that focus on particular health topics, as a way to generate sales leads? Like, would I offer this, like, free report, this course assignment to people who have an interest in that specific topic? I've got no idea about your rules within university and the copyright material of your course assignment, but I'm sure like it should be yours, and you should be able to reproduce that content. Depending on what this assignment is all about. Is it super relevant for your audience? If not, like, repurpose it, recontent it for the specific needs. So if you're doing it as a way to collect email addresses as a lead capture, so one strategy that a couple of our speakers, LinkedIn experts, talked about was publish on LinkedIn, the first half, the first couple of pages, the first chapter, 500 to 1,000 words on LinkedIn Pulse. Then to get the rest of the report, just click here, subscribe here, kind of thing, and to download it straight away. That'll allow you to collect their email address, and so you can keep hearing from them. And I think that's a great way. So yeah, look at past course assignments, past work, past these interviews that you've gotten, transcripts, blog posts that you've done, repurpose them, create free reports out of them, and why not keep promoting them, like retweeting them multiple times across Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and just try to get as much value out of it as possible. And look at, once you've been doing that for 6, 12 months, look back in your history and see, okay, which of these lead magnets, which of these free reports that I'm offering has generated the most amount of downloads. So to me, how many new subscribers, how many email addresses have I got? And if you're using the right software, like, to track this, which ones have generated the most money for your business. So to give you a couple of tools that we've used to run these live events, these webinars, these free online trainings, this summit, Infusionsoft has been a great CRM system for us, which allows us to track individual people who have registered to attend one of the live sessions. Excuse me. We can see what they've interacted with, what they've clicked on, what they've downloaded, what they've purchased, how much money they've spent, how valuable each customer is to us. And when we look at those customers, how many of them came through this free report as opposed to a different free guide. and which one worked best. Okay, that one worked best. How can we repurpose this, make it better, make more of them, add value, add a second part to that free report or that download. So keep on improving what's working. Check out what's working, what's making the most money, and keep improving it. So Infusionsoft's been a great tool for that. Yeah, Sarah, we got another question coming in there.
Yeah, so Stanley's wondering about influencing the influencers. Is it only by reposting their stuff, or any other way good to reach out to LinkedIn influencers?
Yeah, relationship, guys. That's the biggest thing with influencers. How can you add value to them? How can you help them out? I've seen examples. Kogan. If you don't know Ruslan Kogan here in Australia, he runs Kogan.com, which is an online e-commerce business, which is huge. He started first importing TVs. Big shout out to Rosalind if you're watching. His business, he's generating millions, like tens of millions of dollars a year, if not hundreds now. And he started his business by importing TVs and selling them online, and this was a few years ago now. He didn't have the reputation or the cash flow to purchase the minimum order quantity for the suppliers who were supplying the TVs. So he was like, okay, this is maybe not necessarily an influencer, but I think you can use this tactic, and something that I've used to reach out to influencers before. He went and saw all of these suppliers of TVs, and they were providing him with proposals, and he was looking at these proposals and saying, I cannot hit these minimum order quantities. So he's gone back and told them, they're like, well, we're not going to do business with you. So he looked at these proposals and he was like, well, how can I add value? How can I convince one of these guys to give me an order, give me my minimum order, which I think he wanted like 20, I think, and the minimum order was 250. So what he said was he looked at these proposals and he saw one that was absolutely terrible. There was grammar mistakes. He was importing it from China, so their English wasn't fantastic. It was done in Excel, I think, and it was all over the place. So it was very hard to understand and read, and it wasn't even English. So what he did was he went and repurposed, completely redesigned their proposal template and sent it back to them, and this was like multiple pages of pricing and product information. So really a lot of information, a lot of detail. So Ruslan, I think, spent a couple of hours redesigning this and fixing the grammar mistakes and sending it back to this supplier. And the supplier replied and just goes, wow, like, You've amazed me, right? And this is what you want to be able to do with this influencer. You've amazed me. What is your minimum order? I'm happy to do this for you for providing so much value to me. So he literally spent 2 hours out of his time to help them. Again, like, it's give value, right? And then make the ask. So again, with the influencer, like, all right, so are they doing interviews? Maybe you could, live tweet their summit for them. You could send out an email to your audience about their live event, or repost their post to your audience. You can reach out to them and say, hey, I know that you're doing a product launch and you're promoting this product at the moment. I've got an audience that might be interested in this. I'm happy to promote it for you. Just send me through the email swipe copy. So the email text you want me to send, or the tweet that you want me to post out, and the link, and I'll be happy to promote it. Just give them value. I think that's the main thing. So if they're not responding, do something like Ruslan did. Just redesign something that's done really badly for them, or improve it. Right? Just actually don't say, oh, I think you should be doing this. Go out there and actually create the product or improve it for them in some way, and send it back to them. Like, maybe it's just part of their email sequence that they've got, and just say, hey, I reckon you could improve it by X, Y, and Z, or some of these pages on your website you could be improved by doing this. But why not rewrite it for them? Don't just say, oh, this could be improved, I don't like it. Add value. Be super helpful. These influencers get approached all the time. They're bored of being asked. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to get them to even look at your request, even reply to your email or your LinkedIn message? How are you going to do that? You got to, what's in it for them? Do something for them. Make it valuable for them. And I've seen, other people who have gone and done something for an influencer and end up actually being hired by them because they did such a great job. So go out there, be helpful, and it'll come back to you multiple times. And in terms of reaching out to influencers, don't give up. Just keep on emailing and contacting them, but adding value at the same time. Don't just reply to them and say, hey, you never replied to my email. Hey, you didn't reply to my email. Why aren't you getting back to me? No, just say, hey, guess what? This has now happened in my business, and we're doing this. It's building up. It's getting even better and better. Would love you to be part of it. Then they don't reply, hey, now this is an update. This is what's happened. This is how it's been improved. This is really cool. Check this out, and then send that to them. Follow up with another email after that. Say, oh, do you know what? I just found out this article or this post or this strategy or this new software that's really cool. I think you should check it out, and send that to them. And then give, and then ask. Give, then ask. I think that's the way to reach those influencers. Be persistent. Don't be annoying. Add value. Be helpful. So hopefully that answers your questions. Okay. Diana Lawrence, don't know if that's the same Diana that's live online now, from Lawrence Advisory. She has asked, she's from Golden in United States. I think maybe this is the same person from Golden. I'm not sure. I haven't heard of Golden before. Anyway, we'll come on to the question. I know we're past the whole hour. We're still going here. We've still got questions coming through. Happy to keep answering them for you. I'm still gonna be here around. It was only meant to be an hour, but I know you've got loads of questions. I've still got loads of questions to answer, and they're still coming through the chat box. Keep them coming through, and I'll keep trying to answer them as much as possible. Are iPhone videos good enough for LinkedIn content? If not, can you give us guidelines for the best value options? Sufficient quality for the best price? Are there gotchas to worry about? Example, audio clarity. Thank you. iPhone videos are good enough. Part of the summit, we had a celebrity photographer come in, and I actually said to him, like for your LinkedIn photo, you shouldn't be just using your iPhone. He was like, no, do you know what? You can use your iPhone. The high definition cameras that are in your phone these days are awesome, and there's apps as well that you can download that are brilliant. What's that app, Sarah, that's really good for cameras for the iPhone? We can find it out anyway, and I'll let you know. But the iPhone cameras are definitely good enough. And for video, we have had expert speakers with some of our online training in the past use an iPhone, and you can use an iPhone as a teletext prompter as well if you're creating like an online course or an online video, you just want to speak to your audience. It's good enough quality. Why? Because they're going to be watching it on their iPhone or on their laptop or computer screen. They're not going to be watching on their TV where you need a high definition, 1080 pixel image. You can go for I think it's a 720 or even less, especially for the iPhone. But if you want to be, selling video or video content and people are paying for it, I think you want to be using at least 720. To give you an idea of what I'm using right now for this, hopefully it's coming through super clear for everyone. If not, it's probably the internet connection. Using a Logitech C920 webcam, Logitech C920. It's way better than the webcam on the laptop and on the computers, so highly recommend. If you want to be creating videos and doing online interviews or whatever that might be to help build your reputation, your brand, your expertise, invest in a Logitech C920. I think that's it's the most expensive one on the market, but it's the best one as well. I think it was just over $100 US. You can buy them online pretty much anywhere. Microphone, as you can see, I've got just the iPhone headset in. That's for the sound, so I can hear you guys. So there's no echo. So you don't want to be using, necessarily the speaker if you're, talking live or interviewing someone. If we're talking about the iPhone again, just plug the headset into your iPhone and use the speaker that's on your headset. Make sure, the headset has the speaker as part of your microphone if you're not using the Apple headset. And just start talking into your phone into the video. Start recording, right? I think one thing that I would love to do more, and you see a lot of influencers out there now on Blab, which is just a live video content stream. So you can create live events straight away, literally by just jumping on your phone and start recording, and people can start tuning in and watching you live as you're walking around. And these software like Blab getting really popular now. There's some big influencers on there doing live shows, and they're just jumping on it and sharing some insight or value with their audience, and anyone can tune in and subscribe. So to answer that question, yes, you can definitely use your iPhone, especially if you've got any new phone purchased in the last 12 months. Cameras are getting better and better and better, and when I went to actually purchase this webcam, companies have started not producing external webcams anymore. Why? Because the built-in webcams in laptops and computers now are almost as good, if not better, than these webcams that they're building externally. So then again, I think our webcam is definitely better than the camera that's on our laptops at the moment. So if you can, still invest in external webcam, but otherwise, I think yes. Quickly and shorten the answer to your question, yes. Record using your iPhone, using video, use Blab, use Skype. Joyce, who's in the Philippines, Sarah and I are constantly on Skype using video. I use that on my iPhone when I'm on the road speaking. So absolutely use video in the iPhone. I think we've got another question coming through.
Yeah, another question from the chat. Liam, do you know any solopreneurs using or creating company pages? And what are the pros and cons of doing so?
Okay. Company pages. Now, my personal view on this is that I think you should be building your own personal reputation over the company pages. Now, that might be a little bit controversial. I know that other speakers that were at the summit, I think it was Ralph, if you go and watch his session, he was talking about how he uses company pages to generate more SEO, generate more leads for his business, but he uses his own personal one as well, right? So I think the personal one is number one, and then if you've got the time, check out the ROI. What's the return on investment for using the company pages as opposed to Pulse and groups and your own, LinkedIn profile and updates, and compare it. So make sure you're identifying and using your time wisely. That's my advice there. But yeah, company pages, Ralph, check out what he is doing in his session and reach out to him. He's got a lot of really good tips. What's that? Oh, okay. I thought there was more questions coming in as part of that, but if you want to go in more depth into that, happy to kind of speak more about it. One thing that I would definitely do is set up a company page. Why? Because if you Google your company name, you want to take up all 10 spots on that first page on a Google search. So one of those pages, one of those search results in the top 10 can be your LinkedIn company page. All right, so hopefully it's your company website first, and then maybe there's some media about your company. This is also a good kind of tag. If there's bad media about your company, if you're searching for your company name on the first page, you want to try to get that off the first page as soon as possible. And there's I don't know, hackers, there's developers, there's programmers that will help you remove those bad posts that are being found and links off that first page of Google. And one of the ways they do this is by replacing those links in the top 10 with other more positive articles. So really, they're not removing those bad reputation articles or whatever they might be. They're just pushing them down, pushing them so far away that people aren't even seeing them. One way to get your business found, to take up that real estate on those first 10 links, is use the company page. So use your name, the company name, and use the keywords, your company name within the description. Link to it from your LinkedIn profile. Link to it from your website, and boost it so that just keep checking it until it becomes within when you Google search your company name, the company page from LinkedIn is up there, and you can do this in multiple different ways as well. And why do you want to be doing this? Because say you've got a company like Acme company, right? There's like thousands of companies called Acme. How do you differentiate yourself? How do you be found by people who are looking to find you? They're searching for your company, but they're finding these other companies with the same name. Like, how do you're missing out on these potential customers and clients, right? Use the company page. So I definitely recommend that for the company page, and try to take up all that real estate on Google when people are searching for your company name. So that is something I'd highly recommend you do. In terms of keeping it updated with updates and posts, return on investment, just look at it whether it's worth it for you. You can definitely schedule stuff, so use Hootsuite, Likeable, Buffer to schedule these posts. Hootsuite, I think, does groups. I'm not sure about the other two in terms of scheduling posts to groups, but be careful as well about being spammy whilst doing that. But with the company page, you can schedule posts and get that happening. But to be honest, all the company pages that I've seen, they don't get a lot of interaction. They don't get a lot of engagement. Why? People want to do business with people. They want to be hearing from you, so they want to be responding and commenting from stuff from you, the spokesperson, the leader for the business. They want to be speaking to someone they can like, know, and trust. They want to know who they're talking to, not just a business name. So that would be, at least my advice there, would be to spend time building your own reputation and credibility, so that the people that know, like, and trust you are going to be purchasing from you and your business. Okay. I know we've gone like 20 minutes over time now. I might just take one or two extra questions. So if you're in the chat box, jump in, ask your question, and I'll try to respond to it as soon as possible. I'm just scrolling through the questions that have been asked here. And I'm just trying to decide which one would be most benefit to you guys. How many times is it okay to recycle links, updates on LinkedIn? I tend to repost at least once, so 2 times in total, so that people don't think I'm spammy. That's from John Espirian in Newport in the UK. I think I've hopefully answered that for you, mate. Just I think you can repost multiple times for multiple time zones across months as well. So don't be afraid to keep reposting onto LinkedIn, especially your updates and that kind of thing, and especially if it's value and it's working, and people that missed it last time will be able to watch it and read it and get value from it. Here's one from Stanley, maybe that's Stanley in the chat room, Stanley Major. I sell a niche from Calgary in Canada. I sell a niche product material for making apparel and accessories. John Lee Dumas talked about the importance of connecting with LinkedIn influencers. If I want to offer value in the form of a written article to fashion influencers, how do I reach them on LinkedIn? Don't these influencers always write their own articles anyway? Why would they need mine? I think that was the question you probably asked in the chat box, mate. So hopefully that's answered for you. Anyone that missed it will be able to hopefully watch the replay of this. But yeah, reach out to influencers, repurpose it, make it really specific to them. And if you want to be published in articles, you need to build a relationship with the journalist or the blogger that you want to be covered by. Build a relationship, give, and then maybe ask them, hey, I've got this really cool story that I want to share with you that I think your audience would love. This is from Lillian Diaz Imbelli in the Bronx, USA. Just a thank you. I'm still processing all the content. I'm confident I will gain much from everyone else's questions. Your attention and professionalism has been much appreciated. I'm super glad I enrolled and paid for the all access. I'm certain I will have some more questions next time around. Thanks ever so much. That's from Lillian. Thanks so much. I mean, guys, everyone that's wrote in emails, thanked Sarah, Joyce, and myself for pulling together the summit. Like, we really appreciate you being showing that appreciation and telling us what you loved about it, what you didn't like about it so much, so we can improve and make sure that it's better for you next time. Jump into our Facebook group. Facebook, people have been asking, why did we make a Facebook group instead of a LinkedIn group for this community? Facebook is just, there's more interaction going on in Facebook groups. It's easier to create engagement, to create conversations within Facebook groups. Hopefully that'll change, because I'd love to be using LinkedIn groups for these types of communities. But right now, jump on the Facebook group and ask your questions in there. We've got lots of the speakers are in there answering questions. Tag them and connect with them and ask them questions, and we'll get them answering questions for you. And Sarah, Joyce, and myself will be in there as well, trying to answer your questions. Is there anything else coming in there, or can we maybe wrap this up? All right. Joyce, thanks so much for jumping online and being such a huge part of the summit and Small Today for over the past year and a half. It's been fantastic. Sarah, thanks so much as well for your huge effort in pulling together all the creative, all the beautiful designs and that kind of thing that was going on. Sarah and Joyce put a lot of effort into those. The recording, the editing of the videos. Joyce, wow, awesome, amazing. Keep it up. Everyone that attended and gave us feedback, please jump in the group, give us more feedback, communicate with us, reach out to us if you need me to help you share content, to help you promote something. Our team, Sarah, Joyce, is here for you as well. Connect with us on LinkedIn, Joyce Cordero or Sarah Torsland and Liam Austin at Small Today. Really hope that you get a lot from this. If you've got more questions, again, we're still here. You're still part of the community. We want to be able to help you. To follow on from this, all of our speakers were talking about how important LinkedIn really was to connect initially with people, but what you want to be doing with them, the end goal, and I like to maybe leave you with this, if you haven't watched some of the last sessions, is to collect their email address. Create some kind of download or value that they can exchange their email address for. So hey, here's a free download, here's a free checklist, here's a free guide to help you do and solve XYZ problems. All you need to do is enter your email address in, and it emails it directly to you, so you can download it straight away. And why did people want? Why did all the experts and LinkedIn experts want people to connect with them off LinkedIn and via email? Because LinkedIn is rented property. Again, it's rented. You don't own it. We can't control the algorithm or how many people are going to see it or what's going to change in the future. It's an evolving beast. It's a huge beast, 400 million people. So it's great for meeting new people, for connecting with new potential clients, customers, but you want to be continuously nurturing that relationship via email on a more regular basis and have more control over that relationship with your potential customers, clients, partners, and so forth. So definitely start collecting email addresses of your audience. But what do you do? And this is a question that a lot of you have been asking. How do I email them? What do I email them? How do I nurture this relationship? How do I turn them from just this prospect into a customer, a lifelong customer? So we've gone ahead and decided to create the Email Success Summit, which we are launching in March. So it'll be again a live event from the 21st till the 31st of March 2016, where we're inviting experts, email marketing experts, small business owners, proven entrepreneurs, all these industry influencers have been using email marketing to drive thousands of new subscribers and millions of dollars into their business and creating whole new product lines and customers and reaching whole new audiences through using email and email marketing. So hope to see you next time at the Email Success Summit. You can grab your free pass, emailsuccesssummit.com. Otherwise, Joyce, if you just want to wave goodbye, and Sarah, let's just all kind of say goodbye to everyone, and we hope to see you engaging in the Facebook group, and please connect with us on LinkedIn and email us if you have any further questions. Thanks, guys.